What if I told you that Ferrari may have finally found exactly what Lewis Hamilton has been desperately searching for since joining the team? And what if all the challenges that deeply affected the car's performance in the early races of this season were now on the verge of being overcome, not by luck or chance, but thanks to a circuit that finally highlights the main strengths of the Italian project? Today's news is incredibly important, because new information has come to light regarding Ferrari's planned upgrades for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and they directly impact how Hamilton's car is being prepared. If you want to understand why the Jeddah layout could completely shift the course of Ferrari's season and bring Hamilton back into serious contention, stay with us until the end. After a rough start with the red team, Lewis finally received a boost of optimism. And interestingly, it didn't come directly from Ferrari, but rather from the technical profile of the Jeddah circuit. While the car struggled on bumpier, more demanding tracks that require precise setup, the Saudi venue offers quite the opposite scenario. We are talking about a surface that is extremely smooth, with very high speeds and minimal tire degradation, and that completely changes the game. One of the biggest obstacles the team faced this year was the limitation in running the car at an ideal ride height without breaching technical regulations or compromising high-speed performance. A clear example of this happened in China, where Hamilton was disqualified due to excessive wear on the skid block, directly caused by an aggressive attempt to lower the car in search of aerodynamic efficiency. This forced Ferrari to raise the car significantly in Suzuka, which disrupted the setup and pushed both drivers out of the optimal operating window. Even with a new floor introduced in Bahrain, which showed promising signs, the car still could not be pushed to its limit. The variable track surface and inconsistent thermal behavior meant the team had to adopt a conservative approach with Hamilton. Although he managed to climb to 5th place during the race, he still qualified poorly, ending up nearly 1 full second behind Leclerc. The performance was there, but not when it really mattered. Now, however, the spotlight turns to Jeddah, a fast, technical layout with very low tire wear, perfect for Ferrari to finally unleash its true potential. According to Italian newspaper Gazzetta dello Sport, Ferrari's new floor design could expand the car's ideal working range by as much as 30% compared to what was seen in Bahrain. This means significantly more flexibility when it comes to setup, without sacrificing stability or reliability. It's a big step forward, but what exactly changes in practical terms? First, Ferrari can now run the car closer to the ground, as it was originally intended to operate aerodynamically, without suffering from excessive bottom wear or suspension issues. This translates into more aerodynamic downforce, a lower center of gravity, and greater driver confidence through high-speed corners. Second, the reduced tire wear on this track means Hamilton can push harder for longer periods, without having to manage his compounds conservatively. This gives the team greater freedom in terms of strategy, and perhaps most crucially, this is a circuit where qualifying is absolutely essential. In Jeddah, starting at the front is vital, and so far, that has been Lewis's biggest weakness. But if the new setup finally provides the front-end grip he has been asking for, everything could change dramatically. It's also important to remember that the team has spent the last 3 race weekends learning how to tailor the car to Hamilton's style. As the driver himself said after Bahrain, he finally started to understand how to handle this car. He has adjusted his braking points, resumed using engine braking, something he hadn't done in over a decade, and is adapting to the very different feel of Brembo's braking system compared to what he was used to at Mercedes. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur was very clear in his statement. This is a two-way process. The car will continue evolving to suit Lewis's needs, but he also has to keep adjusting to the new environment. And according to internal sources, this collaborative effort is finally beginning to yield tangible results. As we approach the Saudi Arabian round, the biggest curiosity is not just whether Hamilton will be more competitive. The real question is whether this will mark a turning point. Because if the updates truly broaden the car's operational range, then we are witnessing more than just a strong weekend. We could be seeing a fundamental transformation. Jeddah is a track that demands the best from every part of the package. It is not a circuit where flaws in balance, grip, or aerodynamic load can be hidden. If Hamilton and Ferrari perform well here, the message will be loud and clear. Not just for the team, but for the entire paddock. It will show that the car is still alive, the project is not done, and Hamilton remains a serious contender. But this moment also raises strategic questions. If the car has truly found its form, should Ferrari continue splitting development between two very different driving styles? Or is it time to place their bets on the direction that yields better results? Red Bull is no longer untouchable. McLaren is surging, and Ferrari needs to make clear decisions. There's no room for hesitation now. There is also an emotional element. For Hamilton, this moment might mean more than just improved lap times. It could mean renewed confidence, reconnection with the car, and a return of inner belief. After weeks of frustration and cryptic team radios, this might finally be the moment he starts to believe again. If he leaves Jeddah with a car that finally responds to his touch, the momentum of the season shifts entirely. So what do you think? Are we witnessing the beginning of a new phase for Lewis and the Italian team? Or is this just a fleeting moment where everything aligned briefly? Is Hamilton truly adapting to this new world? Or are we still waiting for that spark to ignite the fire? Let me know in the comment. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. This season has already delivered plenty of twists. And if Ferrari is really back in the fight, the drama is only just beginning. If Hamilton and Ferrari have indeed unlocked a new level of performance, the rest of the grid could be in for a shock. The timing is also crucial. While Red Bull and McLaren have already built solid foundations, Ferrari could use this breakthrough as a turning point, especially considering the calendar is still in its early stages. With more than 20 races left, everything is still at stake. A strong showing now could do more than boost morale. It could reshape the championship order. Ferrari, after all, has invested heavily in this year's development path. This new floor was not a side experiment. It was a direct response to fundamental weaknesses in the aerodynamic philosophy. Factory simulations pointed to improvements, but real confirmation has always depended on what happens on track. And if the performance in Jeddah validates those projections, Ferrari will finally have the confidence it has been missing. That belief is priceless when chasing consistency. Engineers have already reported that in Bahrain, the car's usable window doubled compared to Suzuka. If Jeddah confirms an additional 30% gain, Ferrari will have more freedom, more control, and more room to adapt the car to each driver's style. For someone like Hamilton, who has always thrived in a car that responds precisely to his unique inputs, this could be a major turning point. And while the data is promising, the psychological shift could be even more impactful. A car that finally obeys a driver's instincts changes everything. In Hamilton's case, when he trusts the machine beneath him, he becomes a completely different competitor, bolder, sharper, and nearly unstoppable when momentum swings his way. Confidence is the real fuel, and this weekend might just be the moment when he starts to believe in the project for real. At the same time, Charles Leclerc knows he must stay ahead. He has had the upper hand in qualifying so far, but if Hamilton hits his stride, the internal balance could shift, and perhaps even the team politics. History shows that having two highly competitive drivers at Ferrari often leads to friction. If the gap between them shrinks, we may be in for a rivalry that defines the Scuderia's narrative this year. Looking at the broader championship picture, Lando Norris started the season strong, McLaren is building momentum, and Red Bull no longer looks invincible. That opens a strategic window that Ferrari must seize. The field is tighter, performance gaps are shrinking, and the team that combines speed with consistency will have a real shot at the title. Jeddah then becomes a proving ground, not only for technical upgrades, but for belief. Has Hamilton finally found the car he was looking for? Can Ferrari execute a flawless weekend under pressure? Will the technical package perform as promised? Because if the answers are yes, even partially, this will not just be another race in the 2025 season. It could mark the true beginning of Hamilton's era in red, and that, more than anything, is what makes this weekend so compelling. The pieces are finally in place. Now it all comes down to execution.